Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Ephemeral One, and welcome back to more of the Dark Souls 3. Last time, we began our journey, reaching Firelink Shrine, as well as the high, high walls of Lothric. But now we've also reached the undead settlement beyond the foot of the at the foot of the high walls. Got a little stronger, and now we can push ourselves a little further, even further. Also, yep. Yep. And though alright. The voice acting in these games are always so wonderful. But yeah. And now we have access to a little further. And we can forego many of the ambushes. Let's see. Yep. And you. But yeah. Last time we started investigating these people and places. Let's see. Like I said before, we don't have to actually engage with the sister and her congregation over there. So, we can just come here. And take out everyone who's hiding around here. Nice. And note that actually casting is far more viable here. And honestly, the biggest limitation for a caster can be their stamina. As you can see, we picked up quite a bit of... We used up a bit of our MP, but we didn't do too bad otherwise. Now, this is a lesson. One that you should have been paying attention to earlier. As naturally, what this guy's looking to do is drop fire on your head, so you get killed by the explosive barrel. Now, the basic approach is to head that way, but you'll notice there's actually a way down. So, but of course, There are naturally others waiting for you to ambush you down here. Worker set. But, and instead of walking into the trap, you come down here to discover another bonfire. Typically in this game, you're never too... One thing they got very good in 3 is putting your bonfires that are convenient yet out of the way enough that they're rough to find. So it's a nice trade-off, and I think they do very well in this one. There's no real bonfire I can recall that's kind of way out of the way. Which might be a bit of a thematic thing. After all, a hand axe, how nice. And someone in a cage.
Aha, unkindled, are we? Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old pyromancer. A crow in his cage, as you see now. But here we are, an encounter for the ages. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels.
Oh?
Care to learn some pyromancies from this old man?
Yeah, we'd love to be able to learn pyromancy. Anything to make this journey, our second time round, a little easier.
Most wise. A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
And yeah, he gets to escape to Firelink Shrine, where all the rest have gathered. And now that we've taken out these bomb throwers, we can safely explore the city beyond. But there's clearly something loud and angry nearby. What could it possibly be, though? Well, the best thing we can do is take a look. Huh. There's this big guy with a pot on him. Interesting. Alright. Oh. Ow. And he got us. Me messing around too much. My own fault. I'm playing around a little too much, but... By the way... No, you can't reallocate your Estus. You can only do that at the bonfire. At the smith. At Andre the Smith. So yeah. First, let's get rid of the bomb throwers over here. Nice. And we already have the Pyromancer. By the way, the weapon we did get, hand axe. Technically it's weaker. No, just overall it is weaker. Alright. So now... There we go. Wow, he's pretty angry, isn't he? And he's wielding some kind of giant pot? Oh! Yeah, that's kind of why I'm staying up here. That pot has a surprisingly good range. There we go. dropped rubbish. Well, that's just trash. Oh well. But getting past the firebombs does give us the soul of an unknown traveler. And actually, if you explore behind this execution place, you'll find someone kinda just sitting here, cradling their head. And a fire clutch ring, gotten very early in the game. The fire clutch ring makes you take more damage, but you do more fire damage. So, with the right build, that can be quite devastating. And these guys are just sitting around. Well, we can simply push on to the south here. Nope, there are more cages for people being captured and dragged to the mountains. Place there's a graveyard in the distance. There's a dog and some more of the locals. The dog seems entranced by something. An emperor. Oh. And another soldier. Or rather, just another peasant. Oh well. Nice. Oh. Thought I heard someone behind me. But we reached a door. Doesn't open from this side. Well, how unfortunate. Great curse-ridden tree ahead. A transposition kiln lies in its belly. Well, something's hissing. And you actually, one thing you get a lot of are seemingly choices. And bear in mind, in this game, almost everything is very interconnected. Oop, doggy. And yeah, like I said before, if you're wondering where the Elden Ring dogs got their start as being such a pain, this would be it. There's an item over here. An ember. Alright. Yeah. I love that these guys just chuck it at you. Just to show just how little they regard it. And no, because they have big boards on their back, you can't backstab these guys. Might seem kinda simple, but it works. And again, note that these big guys are all using relatively simple weapons. I mean, they're modified farming tools. I mean, these blades are obviously just made for lumber work. And the backs of them are covered in simple tables. Probably were former benches. They just lashed them to their backs to try it so that you wouldn't be able to, get behind them and hurt them further. Alright. Yeah. Typically speaking, personally, I like to try and bait these guys to throw that damn pot at me. Because once out the pot, they're actually a lot easier to deal with. In my opinion. I find the saw blade easier to deal with than the... That's just me, but... And the meat they have in there, they've collected, obviously from their kills. I would very much imagine that they've used those saw blades to butcher. That was a big dog. Yeah. Yeah, those are some pretty damn big dogs, actually. Of course, they're only protecting alluring skulls. Oh. Now, something we can do... If I remember right, there was... Well, first, let's speak to you.
Another one of those unkindled, are you?
Yeah?
All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. No matter. Heed my words. If you've any sense, you go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You, here, in this land of hollows. You're like a frail maiden on the front lines.
Oh.
If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time. Yeah. If like the other, then go.
Now, this prompts an interesting question. What is the difference between unkindled and a hollow? Do you think you have an answer? In truth, I don't really. I personally don't really have one. But it is pretty famously known that the two have different meanings. Or at least the sense of meaning regarding them. Be wary of you, bastard. Does not open from this side. Seems like that's said to a lot of us. Said to us a lot lately. A lot of doors can't open. Ah, but this one does. And there goes the elevator. Why would it... Oh. Oh! Hello. That sounds familiar. Painfully so.
Oh. Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegwart of Katarina.
What?
To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow?
No.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower. Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up. And that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... well, that doesn't get me anywhere.
What? How? And actually, if you look inside, you can see Sigurd? How? How? After we refused to link the flames, what happened to you? And he doesn't seem to recognize us. Bizarre. Still, if he's run into a problem, well, the solution is never right where he is. So, let's double back on ourselves. The solution to the elevator problem must be elsewhere. So for now, let's see. There was this path we didn't take. It may lead us to where that elevator does. And there is a ladder down. Into a sewer with rats. Huh. Well, at least this is familiar. And we haven't seen any basilisks yet, so this can't be that bad. A cestus. If you're determined to punch your way out of the situation, that is a useful tool. Lots of fog here. Hiding a bigger rat. Not the biggest we've seen. And it had a blood bite ring. Capable of increases our bleed resistance. Not bad. After all, the less we bleed, the better off we are. Well, locked. And we remember that there were a few other enemies who were... yeah. Bigger on bleed, so having some extra resistance shall surely come in handy. Ah, this door opens. Making sure we didn't miss anything down here. Illusory wall. Nope. Because people like to be dicks. No, there's no illusion here. Just another way around. And a bonfire beyond. Excellent. Well, that's helpful. This is the dilapidated bridge. Well, we can continue on. Wait, this looks almost familiar. Oh. Quite an angry man. Still, we did pretty well, I think. Wait, something seems weird all of a sudden. Well, the tombstones are becoming an unfortunately common sight. What are these? Spears? Some great javelins? They're huge and they're everywhere. What the? Oh! Okay. So Sigurd was being honest with us. Yeah. The shots seem to be coming from over there. There, where the birds are. If we look with the binoculars. Yeah, there, on the top of the tower. It looks like a giant with a bow? Oh. That's gonna make all this a little more hazardous, isn't it? Oh, that's not good. Of course there's items. Ow. Oh! Oh, got me. Oi. So that didn't go too well. Oh. There we go. Alright. But now that we know what's coming... Oh! And that's the white birch he was talking about. Oof. Pretty rough. Okay. Just have to try and make it through. Yep. If we can time our rolls right, we should be fine. And it looks like we can use it to bait the others. Alright. Alright. Looks like if we leave that line of fire, he'll fire at the others. Yeah, he's not firing at us specifically. He's firing at whatever he can reach. Wow. Oh! Worth it. Really worth it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a fire gem. That will allow us to add fire damage to any weapon. So... Okay. Nope. Get the hell away from that. Because that looked like a grab. Oof. That giant is determined. Nothing else. Alright. Yeesh. And here, a great scythe. Attacks with this large scythe, normally used for crop harvesting, are effective at breaking past shields. The magnificent, sharp, curved blade instills fear in opponents. Perhaps it's their survival instinct at work. This attack, his skill is a neck swipe, aims for the scruff of the foe's neck, and when successful, Functions as a headshot inflicting heavy damage. Yeah, it's a spin sweep for the Lucerne, charge. There's a couple different skills. Interestingly enough, the skill for the steady chant and the sorcerer's staff to give you a temporary buff. So, that might be a useful skill. Alright. And we've made it past the shooting gallery. And this place is covered in flowers, poking out amidst the stone. Ah, this door looks familiar. Because it is, in fact, leading back to how we got. So, that is a welcome. But here we see sort of somewhat revered, or at least given statues, are these hunched over figures with this bulging thing out of their back. They're hunched over and covered in sheets, reminding us very much of the pilgrims. And, well, it might explain why the pilgrims have those stones, caps on their back. Perhaps if they don't, this growth sprouts out of them. Huh. And these trees have definitely overgrown this area. Lots and lots of them. Everything's growing here. It's beautiful in its own way. Everything's growing and developing. Like I said, if I had to pick a watch phrase for this game, like I said, 2 would be it's always a trap. 1 would be to question everything. And for 3, to know that this is all a fight for survival. Everything in this game is about trying to survive. From the plants we see here, to the people that have gathered, all of this is for the sake of survival. Yep. And survival is quite an addictive drug. Oh, you're a red eye. Yeah, I want you gone. Yeah, you've got way too much HP. Wait, what? Okay. The tree is apparently our enemy today. A cursed, rotted greatwood. More specifically, a tree that has been filled with curses. And sort of, oof. It can only move in a seated position, it seems. And the weak point is these eggs in the middle. Yep. It's kind of suggestive for what it is. Though note... Oh, that's not good. It's a little suggestive where you have to attack, of course. But note that the tree cares little for its followers. In fact, it acts as if they aren't even there. Oh, well, that's thoroughly disgusting. Yeah. Well, managed to get out of that. Yeah. But yeah, note that the tree kinda is just going after us. It doesn't care for the others. And will happily crush them underfoot time and time again. Oy. Considering its limited mobility, I suppose that's a pretty impressive feat. Okay, and whoop, what? Wait, what? Wait, we've been here before. The Mound Makers were just beneath here. And now it sprouts a third arm. This one seems a little different though. Oh. Yeah, this hand looks fleshy, clawed, and like it's the decayed remnants of something that's been lodged in the tree. Oh. Yeah. Though it's clear this thing can't walk properly. But at least the arm can help it right itself. Still. Oy. As things stand, the tree is mostly... I wonder now, do you think if this tree was left alone long enough, the tree would regain whatever form it is, and we would see a whole body and not just the arm? Ow. Yep. Last Estus Flask. Alright. Alright. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Alright. What do you imagine? It's accursed. Alright. Ooh, got me on the final third hit. Has a longer range than you think it does. Generally speaking, when it goes to stand, when it goes to topple, just hit it on the right. Stand a little more to the right of it. Nope. Okay. Well, while it's waiting. Got it. The soul of the rotted great wood and the transposing kiln. And yeah, this was the place that was sacred to the Mound Maker's covenant. Holy Knight Hodrick. He brought it all here to tether himself. And it's here we can see the knight is no more. You can still become another, work as a mound maker, but yeah, this place was buried and hidden until now. One of the twisted souls steeped in strength. Used to acquire may souls are transposed to extract its true strength. Ever since its establishment, all manners of curses have managed to seep into the undead settlement. The worst of them were sealed away inside a spirit tree, but eventually the curses took their toll and possessed the tree as a method of rebirth. The Dark Sigil, a black gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless pitch-black hole, the gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. The Dark Sigil will never heal, but there is a tale told of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss and brought great comfort to a bearer of the curse. But more importantly, the transposing kiln. An old transposing kiln from Corland, crafted with stitched crystal lizard hide. Give to Ludleth, Lord of Cinder, to conduct soul transposition. This kiln can transpose twisted souls to craft special items with their consecrated essence, deemed forbidden by those unable to make proper use of it. Well, let's go see about making proper use of it then. The Pit of Hollows. Where they were dropped, forgotten, and their curses steeped into the roots of the tree. So, the small one who will die a colossus.
Fret not. My feet are here firmly planted, for I am a lord, and this is my throne. Listen, this might pique thine interest. Before I was a lord of Cinder, I was a student of transposition, the process of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul, a forbidden art that once left a foul stain upon Corland's honor. 'Tis an art that grants powers once thought unattainable. Most transposing kilns were lost with Corland, but this place is a crossing for all manner of cursed objects. If thou happenest upon a transposing kiln, bring it to me, quick.
Well, funny you should bring that up.
Oh, belike it is a transposing kiln in thy possession, seen better days, but methinks it shall suffice now. Bring to me a twisted soul. Transposition is the art of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. In transposing a twisted soul, its true power transferreth to thee. Thy purpose is to seek lords and slay them. What's to fear in a little transposition now?
So, the items we can make with the souls we have the rotted greatwood can create a hollow slayer greatsword. Greatsword used for a lifetime by a masked knight, harbors the fears that lurk within the mind of hollows, and is particularly effective against them. Bestowed to a proper Mira knight long ago, two-hand to execute special sword techniques. While in stance, use normal attack to break a guard's foe from below, and strong attack to slash upwards in a forward lunge. Well, remember, we do know of a excellent swordsman who was a swordswoman rather, who was unlike any other. So that is one thing. The other one that we can get from the Great Wood. One of the curses that festered within the belly of the Great Wood, and a terrible weapon favored by Earl Astor the Impaler. The spear is enwreathed in rotten, heavily poisonous meat. Defeating your foes, however, does restore HP. And it has a shield splitter. Take a large step forward to make a single focused thrust to puncture enemy shields and inflict damage. So this speaks to two of the souls that were in the Great Tree, aiming to escape. Whether it was one arm or the other, you can debate, but these were two souls. Honestly, this was probably the resting place of either Lucatiel or her brother. Both of them went hollow, and their souls ended up in Drang Lake. But where their bodies ended up, well, probably buried in the base of the Great Wood. Take your pick on which of the two siblings from Mira, or maybe it was a different knight altogether. We'll never know for sure. If I was to pick, Great Hammer wielded by Vort, the Outrider Knight of the Boreal Valley. Weapon is imbued with frost and causes frostbite. Frost accumulates in the body, causing frostbite, which saps one's health, lowers absorption, and slows stamina recovery. It's a tempting weapon. But if I was to give it to anyone, Oh, and of course, the Pontiff's left eye recovers HP with successive attacks. Bewitched ring that the Pontiff Suleiman bestowed upon his knights. Knights who peer into the black orb are lured into the battles of death, transformed into frenzied beasts. No wonder Pontiff only provides these rings to those dispatched in foreign lands. Which is why you get it from Vort, because that's why he was so frenzied and attacked you with an almost bestial fury. So, I definitely would say of the items we get, though, considering we're playing blue, yeah, the Hollow Slayer. And of course, Vort's Great Hammer.
Now.
And with those choices...
Welcome home, Asher, speak thine home. Very well, then touch the cake, nourish me.
Definitely using up to get some dexterity.
Farewell, may the flames
So, can't use them just yet. But, at the very least, they're working up the importance we need. And we've met a few others.
Ah, there you are, unkindled one. I wish to express my gratitude for trusting the lowly pyromancer and allowing me to gaze upon this majestic flame. As promised, I will impart pyromancies to you. But first, you'll need a flame of your own.
Well, thank you.
Careful you don't burn yourself with it.
So, you can learn various pyromancies. Basically, basic fireball, basically a fire breath. Great combustion, which is just a snap of your fingers that does a great quick burst of damage. And flash sweat, which increases your fire absorption for the sake of reducing the fire damage you take. You can also get the Pyromancer set, reinforcing the flame with Titanite shards, so that it does more.
To learn pyromancies, I know, but such is the way of the world. Respect your elders and so on. And pyromancy... Oh, we'll need a pyromancy, though unorthodox, if this were the Great Swamp and you had the luxury of time.
Yep. So, for now anyway, I think we'll take Fireball.
Do not be gone. What is a teacher?
Indeed. Now that's the joyous part of our trip. Let's... If you'll recall, when we were exploring the undead settlement, we did find some more unpleasant parts. More specifically, an old human bone with several holes bored into it. A woman's corpse in the undead settlements was found clutching this bone. Her name was Loretta, and she was a friend, if not more, to Grey Rat the thief.
Oh, hello, you're back, and in one piece.
Now, you don't have to do this, but I think the man deserves to at least know the truth.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as... You can keep as...
Yeah, he's not okay. And to be fair, I'd be more worried if he was. Let's leave him
Goodbye. Oh, this place is a...
He's trying to put up a strong front, but... well, we already know that that has to hurt. And let's see. How are you doing, Yo?
Oh, I would do anything.
Go ahead. Of course, Corn. What do you look... Wait, what's the question? PS5. It's been running fairly smooth on it, honestly.
Then shall we begin, bearer of the...
Let's see. Oh, wait, and never hesitate to ask questions. I'm focused on the story, yes, but... Oh, no need for a gift. I'm good. I'm enjoying the game as is. I suppose it's time we pushed... I guess... I guess, yeah. To me, I want to push all our stats up.
Be safe.
No, I'll be alright. But thank you for the offer, really. I enjoy the challenges this game brings. If I find a boss I truly am struggling with, I will of course ask, but I've been through this journey a few times. Let's see. The Silver Serpent Ring? No, I'm alright. I'm not feeling the compulsion to grind yet. For now, I think we're pretty good. Only thing I really want to do... Let's see. I want to switch over to the Fireball spell. And then improve our Estus Flask and probably allocate...
Ah, it is good, wasn't he?
Reinforce. And let's actually do 2.
Pretty big, I don't.
2 for our FP now. Because I get the feeling having Fireball will be quite useful. Alright. But so we've found the Pit of Hollows. Cliff underside. So yeah. No, the dilapidated bridge would be the quickest place. Yeah, I suppose the clip to the tower. This isn't this isn't blind. I know much of how the. Oh no. I've played this through. I've got what 200 some hours in now. Nice. I've got about 200 hours in, so I'm familiar enough. Huh. But I like to focus on the story and the world. Yeah. I've put my time in. I mean, this is actually, and this probably is though this is the game I probably have the least total hours with. I'd have to say that, yeah. This is probably the one I have the least amount of time with. 1 and 2, I have a little bit more familiarity with. Not that 3 was ever bad, but, well, the problem is Bloodborne and all the enchantment that it stole with me. I used to call the evangelists. I used to call them Mother Superiors, just out of joking. Yeah, no. Yeah, the evangelists. They're trying to mostly throw you off and make you anxious. And again, the biggest thing to note about these people is how desperate they are. And the simple truth, they're all hollows. In fact, have we met anyone who's completely human, do you think? They might be mostly human, but I wonder if there's any truly complete humans left in this place. Or is this an endless tale of hollows slaughtering each other? Oh, here. Let's get rid of the dog before I trip it up now. Over here. There we go. Over here. Yep, here comes the big guy. Ow. Managed to take the pot on the shield, at least. And we have enough bleed resist, we can get through this pretty easily. Simple enough. The Jaded Knight, watching over his charge, and Sigurd said this elevator only goes down. Well, he's right. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But what's down here anyway? I mean, there's an item. Now, what's going to make me suffer for this item? Oh. A knight. Reminding us of Vort. It moves just like them on almost on four limbs. And Frost. Yeah. So it's definitely a knight of the same place as Vort. Yep. Okay. Well. Yeah. He is... No, he is Sigurd, a knight of Katarina. And he is... Ooh. Yep. That frenzied movement. Oh. Yep. 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 So, definitely of the same land as Vort. Nope. Oh, got me. Yep, got me on the shield. Oof. The Irithil Straight Sword, huh? Well. Straight sword bestowed upon the Outrider Knights of the Boreal Valley. This weapon is enshrouded in frost and causes frostbite. Every Outrider Knight one day devolves into a beast, constantly hounded by Pontiff Sullivan's black eyes. Thankfully, we didn't take that ring. We took Vort's hammer. So we won't be driven mad by wielding this. A pretty decent weapon. Still has the stance skill. And an ember beyond. And after defeating this knight, we reach a new place. The Road of Sacrifices. Oh no, we're not done. But something seems off. After all, the roads, we were told that the elevator only went one way, but we did see a part of the elevator moving upwards. So, what perhaps there's a trick to this elevator? Also note that the Irithyll Knight there didn't respawn. He's a one-off because he gives you this sword specifically. But this brings us back up. So the trick to this is you do this, let that descend, and note that Sigurd has already taken this elevator up. Sigurd is gone. He's gone up the elevator. Well, hopefully we'll get to see what's up there. Wait. He couldn't even manage to take an elevator correctly. But at least we made it to the top. And there is, in fact, that giant we could see earlier. Oh. He's willing to talk?
Who are you?
We can either leave or we can make peace with them.
I help any time.
Oh. A young wine branch.
I help any time.
Huh. Ah, friend. Now, what you should know this about our new friend. They are an excellent bowman, and they are one of the stone giants we saw from the castle. All the way back in Dark Souls 1. Covered in chains and built of stone. Nope, his legs are sort of mauled. He's not really going to be going anywhere. But he's willing to help us. So one would hope that that means he won't be shooting us anymore, and instead aim for the enemies we may encounter. And that is, in fact, what you're looking for. Alright. Perhaps a relative of Go, One-Eyed Go. But either way, oh, there's a glow in the back part here. More souls. And down here, Oh, there you are, Sigurd.
Don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head.
Oh?
I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
Indeed, my friend, it is a joyous thing. And it is the most active it is the most active Siegward is in solving a problem, is riding the lift after you take it down. Compared to what he does in Dark Souls 1, this is actually very, very much active for him.
On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought, then somehow ended up here.
He tripped.
I'm not exactly sure what happened.
He tripped.
Anyhow, do you see that? That humongous beast?
Yeah?
I'm no coward and I've a steady hand, but that thing makes my skin crawl. How now? Think twice before you go down that road.
He's not wrong. It's huge. It's a demon. One of the Chaos Demons, specifically, spawned from the Witch of Izalith's flames. It's huge, it's fiery, but it's not like this is the first time we've taken this adventure. We can handle ourselves just fine. And so, let's begin.
No! You should have waited! Well, it's too late now. I, Siegward of the Knights of Katarina, fight by your side!
Oh!
Ah!
Oh! Yeah. Two knights against a giant demon. Can you think of a more classic fight? Okay. Sorry, my TV blanked out there for a second. Ow. Yep. Okay. Okay. Alright. Yep. There we go. A fire gem.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head. We unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
We've gotten some Siegbrow.
To your valor, my sword, and our victory together. Long may the sun shine.
Long may the sun shine indeed, my friend. Toast. There's only one other thing to say. There it is. You, my friend. After all, a good drink to you, my friend.
Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
And so, we'll leave him to his nap and rest. He's earned it. That was a fight to remember. So, the item he gave us: Special Brew of Sigward of Katarina. Perfect travel in its jolly barrel mug. Restores HP and temporarily boosts your frost resistance. Leave it to Sigurd to discover a drink that even an undead can enjoy. Perhaps his long years spent undead have left him wanting to drain a cup or two and revel as if he were still among the living. Indeed. But, after all, a long-lived undead has to find its pleasures where it can. And still, in the place so desolate and full of death, there are little joys and wonders to behold. By the way, this whole back area is areas you can run from the demon. Sorry, Corn, I'm doing alright. I'm not speeding through this playthrough, man. I'm going to take my time and enjoy it. I am not a speedrunner in the slightest, and I will never be. A large club, if you ever want to have the brute solution to a problem. Siegbrow. Now notice, there's a couple of the corpses up here have some items in them. No, nothing wrong with it. It's just fair warning. I'm a slow player. Because I'm focused on the story and world of this game very much. Oh, I'm hitting them. Which is fine. Everyone's got their own reasons and way of playing. For me, though, it's the world and story that interests me most. The fighting is enjoyable in its own right, but it's not the focus. For me, at least. And we just got something interesting, a new set of armor, the Northern set. Iron helm of a stalwart northern warrior, engraved with an ornate pattern. Iron defensive gear grants superior stability. Being from the north, it should also offer resistance to the cold. So it is physically weaker than our knight armor, but it is also lighter. So, it's an option, and gives you that Viking look if you're looking for it. Matched with the icy sword, it feels pretty practical. Now, as far as it goes, we also have the flaming pyromancy. Now, the interesting thing to note is there were so many undead here that they could just throw them piled into cages and just hung them there. Red bug pellets. Let's see. Yeah. And many of these are long deceased, but a good way to take care of those who aren't. Pyromancy comes in handy. More alluring skulls, which means it's done its job by drawing us in. And note that this little village area, just off to the side, A demon eventually came here, but it seems like this place was just a storage for corpses anyway. Or just another area to process those corpses. Ah, another. Oh, I hear dogs. Yeah. And another dog. Note that if you get the drop on them, dogs really hate fire. Just completely whiffed. Oh well. That's what the Ashen Estus flask is for. Though, it's kind of interesting. The tree effect that's growing out of these people. They kind of... These hollows just kind of sat here and let it happen. There's no sign of struggle or resisting. They kind of just sat there, hollowed and losing themselves, waiting for whatever would come next. Giving up. And yeah. Yep. Okay. I say, those two look like they're... There we go. So, at the very least, we've managed to handle that. Oh, by the way, if your weapon is already enchanted, like pine bundles and anything that would actually enchant your weapon further, cannot be used. So, like, we can't put pine on top of the charcoal pine on top of the effect of the ice sword. So, and here comes your big challenge: two of the sisters together. Alright. I would say one of your biggest parts of this challenge is that bug spell. Ow. Oh, when she goes... There we go. Ah, there's frost proccing. Oi. Yeah, getting the bug spell to whiff is your biggest challenge. Find a wall it can spend itself against. Nice. There we go. And here... Wow. We've made it towards the top of the village, where the skeletons and impaled corpses stretch in every direction. These buildings decorated with... If there was a warning, it's excessive as all get out. No, it seems more like they ran out of places to put the corpses and just let them be. More than likely, though, how many of these were simply undead that they simply had no more further use for, and so they simply tied them and restricted them, leaving them to eventually go mindless and be used as nothing more than crude decoration. And up here, Flynn's ring. A thing we didn't get till the very end of Dark Souls 2, you get fairly early here. Flynn's Ring is an interesting sort of thing. The lower your equip load, the higher your attack goes. There's a limitation, of course, but if you prefer doing very light builds, then this is a ring absolutely suited for you. But it's not the only thing we can gain. Here, if we drop down to this tower, you can walk around it. Homeward Bones. And inside, learning to fall safely is going to be a lesson you need to take to heart. So, look for places you can roll or jump that'll land you closer to the ground. You don't need to mitigate the fall damage, just lower it. And a set of Mira armor. The Mira Vest, garb worn by Mira knights sent on journeys. This hard leather vest is bestowed only upon proven knights. Knights travel afar to fulfill their sacred duties, but few are ever able to deliver on their vows. Again, even lighter. Say this is about midweight versus the heavyweight northern and knight armor. And something quite useful to any knight or adventurer in general, the Chloranthy Ring. This old ring is named for the decorative green blossom, but its luster has long since faded. Raises your stamina recovery speed. So you get more stamina back faster. There's really no way to argue against that. And remember, and if you look where we are, well, we're right by where we fought the cursed Greatwood. The simple truth is, this is where a Mira Knight died. One of two masked ones, too. As we saw with the curse-rotted Greatsoul, the Hollow Slayer's sword, more specifically. Used for a lifetime by a masked knight. We couldn't create it unless that sword was specifically used and was that soul within the Greatwood. So, it's one of those cases where it's telling you a story of one of the masked knights made it here and sought to slay the Hollows. Unfortunately, their journey ended here, and were buried by the rotten Greatwood. And I'm fairly certain I just caught this evangelist just dropping down. Now, the interesting question for you all. The curse-rotted Great One we fought, what do you think makes it different from so many of these other trees around here? We see this place is overgrown with flowers and plants. And the one that fought us fell down. But, well, there's still some other trees here. And their roots run deep. So, what are the chances some of these other trees could potentially grow into the same thing. Just food for thought. Yeah, our friend is keeping their word. And yeah. This place is now much safer for us. A reinforced club. More young white branches. An ember. Fading soul. And yeah, you could explore this area while being shot at. I don't suggest it. But it is a potential option. And a cleric set. And we got ambushed. So now, the cleric hat. Hat worn by a cleric turned undead. Typical attire for blue-robed travelers. It is said that they were entrusted with a duty, and still its nature is yet to be revealed. So this would be early game light armor. They bore large covers on their backs to ensure that they would not become seedbeds for the spreading darkness. So, if you're curious what Yoel of Londor looked like before he became what he became, well, you can see the early vestiges in the blue cleric set. The very oversized wrappings around the hands and arms, and the head, which then became that sort of conical shape that you see now. His face is somewhere shriveled and buried in there. But yeah, the big stone on the back, well, it's to help prevent something. They bore large covers on their back to ensure they would not become seedbeds for the spreading darkness. Just things to think over. What makes them unique and independent? And here, the Mortician's Ashes. Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. Umbral ash of a resident of the undead settlement who made a living burying corpses. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. So the Mortician's ashes themselves seems to be clutching some, well, ash of a corpse. Seems they were set aflame and burned. And now, there is only one place left to go. There's a final item out there. Which is an undead bone shard. Burn in the shrine bonfire to increase Estus recovery. Undead bones that yet burn. Cast into the shrine bonfire to boost the recovery provided by the Estus flask. The bonfire cinders are the bones of undead, and a bone that still burns is a fresh cinder indeed. Before feeding upon death, one must first pray to it, and honor the fact that this is but a sacrifice of someone before you, and that their sacrifice shall not go forgotten. Still, we have done good work. Alright. Well, managed to get away. There we go. I'd say we've done pretty well. And I think we've pretty thoroughly cleaned out this area. So let's head back and see maybe what these shrine ashes give us. Back to Firelink Shrine.
Ah, well met, Ashen One. How may I be of service? Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash, I only hope these.
So, we get some new items, some additional embers. I believe, I don't remember exactly, I think the Luring Skull is new. Some new spells. A new shield, I believe. But most importantly, the Grave Key. Key to the barred door leading from the sewer below the undead settlement to a moist grave. The grave, which no longer receives visitors, was once the site of a statue of Velka, goddess of sin, and was believed to pardon wrongdoing and lift curses. Oh.
Ashen One.
Then we have some more benefits to gain. But let's put these souls to good use. After all,
Welcome home, speak then. Very well, then take note.
let's see.
Let these souls withdrawn from their lessons, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrow deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these
Just thinking what I would want to do. We'll get the dexterity up. And I just need...
farewell, Ash made of the...
Alright. You know what? Yeah, let's start using up some of these, really. Yeah, because I got like 7 of these. And...
Welcome, husband. Very well, then take note.
Alright.
Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels. Farewell, Ash made of...
And with that, we now have access to the Hollow Slayer Greatsword. 175. And it gets a hidden and extra damage against hollows. In addition, has that heavy thrust attack and the nice sweep. So, overall, it's a fantastic weapon, and Again, one that can last you quite a while. It comes down to your preference, really. Or even the scythe. Nice wide sweeps on the strong attack, and decent on the regular R1. Yep. If you manage to hit aiming that perfectly, you get some impressive amounts of damage. Here, the Lucerne Hammer. A bit slow, but gets some definite damage boosts. But that's full combo can devastate an opponent's guard. So, it's really just down to what you prefer. Let's strengthen our Estus Flask to a +1. So, we'll head back to the dilapidated bridge as we have got the key. So we should be able to explore this place further. Nice. Yeah, that frostbite does some good work. And nice. But most importantly, the grave key now lets us down. You don't really need to use the ladder, but it's always welcome. Ah, and as we were told, there's a statue of the goddess Velka, goddess of sin. If we request absolution from the sins we've committed, but we have not committed a sin against anyone, your curse can be lifted for 2,800 souls, and we will no longer be hollow. Because if I take off our helmet, we are... You can't see it too well, but we are starting to hollow. But if we dissolve it, your curse has been lifted. We are no longer hollow. However, what made us hollow in the first place? Well, the truth is, when each time Yol draws out your true strength, you become more hollow. That's the trade-off you're making. You're becoming less hollow, human, but you're becoming stronger. A red-hilted halberd. An interesting weapon. Wonder if it's something a little different. Oh, not all these bones are set to rest. Yep. At least these ones don't seem to inflict bleeds, so that's a small blessing. Oh, another one? Though it's worth noting, these plants and growths of these trees are sprouting even from these bone skeletons. So it's consuming the very meat of the person, leaving them only as this decayed, decrepit growth. And yeah, I'm not going to fall for that, because that isn't... that remains one of those, yeah, I saw that coming a mile away moments. Alright. And we can head out further. Down... Alright. Another crystal lizard. Got one. Got it. And heavy gem if you want to rely purely on strength. Titanite shard. Yep. Yeah. I don't remember that ever catching me, but I do have to laugh that they made the effort to do so. Where he drops down onto your skull. I'll always have to admire that. That is a fun trap. And it's why he's so distracted while you're up on the top levels. Alright. And you can see where we are is the lower ditch that we saw down here. Ah, there is an item onto there. Thought there was an item down here. The blessed red and white shield. Nothing amazing about it. Standard wooden round shield features a design striking red and white. Wooden shields are light, manageable, and offer a relatively high magic absorption. As far as... oh yeah, the red-hilted halberd. Yeah, it's just that it's a bit of a mix of the axe and the spear, so... There's a rat, but I can't see any other rats. Well, when you're in doubt, this is what items are for. But, in this case, they won't come out immediately. But, as you can see, yeah, remnants of the Rat King's army, I suppose. Or at the very least, memories of it. A saint's talisman. Desperately discarded here and they were probably being hounded by the rats. A medium for casting the miracle of the gods. Ivory talismans are only given to women clerics, and faith greatly affects their effectiveness. There is a certain frailty to this talisman, which undermines the steadfastness granted by its skill. Interesting. Oh. There's a woman here.
Who is there? Is someone there? Anyone?
I'm right here. Can't you see me?
Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting.
Oh, they're probably
So please,
rats.
hold out your hand and touch me.
All right. I'm not going to do anything weird, but...
Yes, there you are. So close, indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet.
No, I'm here.
Praise the merciful gods above. Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Karim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then? I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead?
I mean, we'd lose nothing out of it.
Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Karim, solemnly swear to serve you.
And is drawn into, as before, is drawn all the way into Firelink Shrine. And we find ourselves back here.
You've gone and rescued her, have you?
What? Yeah.
How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Egon, a knight of Karim.
Oh, okay, so you were
I am
watching
allied
over
to
her.
you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long.
I shall do my utmost to keep her as safe as possible.
What's the matter? I am allied to you and only.
I have to wonder, Aegon, what's your relationship to her? You're both from Karim, of course, but... well, he seems not wanting to be talkative on that angle. Either way, with that, I think we've pretty much cleaned out the undead settlement and learned what we can. Nope. So, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So I think we'll descend down and start to look at the road of sacrifices. Though I think we'll save that for next time. Yeah, I think we'll save that for next time. So, I want to thank you all for joining me. I have been the Ephemeral One, and this has been more of Dark Souls 3. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.